wrapped up in my sleeping bag, looking out the window at Aaron's house as the sun is beginning to creep over the horizon. And the trees are silhouetted black against the emerging blue sky with the fading stars up in the sky. And I think to myself how much I hate Aaron because he's got it fucking made with this fantastic house of his, this nice little piece of property tucked away out in the backwoods of South Dakota. God, I fucking hate him. I hope he dies. I hope he dies of syphilis. You piece of shit.
I do not begrudge or wish genuine economic progress did not occur. And if there rarely is, I can't think of one that comes to mind right now. A perfect example of capitalism and innovation taking an old, stodgy, not serving the people too well industry and comes in and changes shit up a bit than the beer industry. Before, a lot of you young people, we didn't get your, weren't able to drink until the craft brewing industry was already thoroughly ensconced within the American market. Dude, it was shit. The beer was shit. Even to this day, I enjoy an occasional good non-alcoholic beer, Athleta. It's great. There has been tangible improvements, significant tangible improvements in the quality of the beer with the craft brewery industry coming in. But man, for purely irrational psychological reasons, I hate here's what it is. The before this big buildup to the micro bro thing, it was the equivalent to sports bar, bro. Go get a sports bar. But instead of having a bunch of washed up jocks like Al Bundy who never peaked beyond high school, go get a sports bar, because I saw a limitless number of those working in banking. It's the same thing. It was a fad. I think that's what it is. I'm sick and tired of the fad. And the optics that went with it, where you're this piece of shit millennial know-it-all hipster douchebag with your fucking bow tie. Beard culture, right? You see where I'm going with this? Just as I hate having 48 screens and the post game analysis show, I hate those bars. And then I hated just the sanctimony. Oh, gotta get microbrew, bro, microbrew. And it ended up being a fascinating. I did a little bit of research, or I tried. It ended up being a little very interesting study into the genesis and evolution of the microbrew industry. But it seems the good times are over. Craft breweries adjust to industry changes, closing outpace openings for first time in 20 years. I like, bro, I thought we just had to get our curly. We had to all look like Gavin McInnes, right? And we have our suspenders, bro. We're from Brooklyn. Want to open up a craft brewery, and then you'd have the wood benches, right? You take a log. Now this is crazy. You guys don't know, but you take a log, you cut it in half, you put a bunch of lacquer on it, and you take the other side of the log, split in half the long way, and you put a bench on the other side, and then you have trivia, bro. And it looks like it's over now, because you all flooded the market because you wanted to join you think it'd be fun. The early movers, they made their move, right? Rightly so. And they provided a much needed kick in the ass to the beer industry with better tasting beer, higher quality beer. God almighty, Budweiser, what the hell? Those guys, good. First movers. Hope you made a lot of money. Hope you got bought out by the larger breweries. And then you had the glamour honors, the baby boomers who in the late 90s say, I'm going to run a sports bar. Remember Cheers from the early 80s? I want to run a sports bar. Party's over, our Tanner McMillennial friends. 30 years ago, if someone said, I'm going out to grab a craft beer, the person they were talking to might not have known what that meant, let alone where they were going to get it. Today in Greensburg alone, don't know where that is. It could mean 8 different tap rooms, and that's not counting if the corner bar carries a few craft taps in addition to Iron City, Budweiser, and Yingling. But according to the Brewers Association, a national trade group, 2024 was the first year in nearly 2 decades when the U.S. saw more craft breweries close than open. Well, hang on, bro. And here's where my research was very interesting. I was like, they're closing? What's the profit margin on a craft brewery? You go search it. Oh, by the way, thank you for all the journal majors who provided no industrial data whatsoever. Just, well, here's how you calculate gross profit. That's gross profit, not profit margin. I could see with the lack of genuine industrial data out there, how so many people, it says profit margins of, there was a report that showed 92 to 74% of profit margins. And if you're some, you're Madison, the millennial, like, you don't know that's gross profit. That doesn't include selling, general, administrative, and all your other expenses. The closest I found that was real was about 4%. That was for Boston, the Boston Beer Company and Yingling, average between those two. I'm like, that makes more sense. But if you took all the articles out there, oh yeah, your profit margins are 20, 25%. Those are the ones I think operating profit, meaning you've taken out your cost of goods sold, you're selling, general, administrative, and then here's how much is left for you minus your taxes and interest expense. And I'm not going to go pay risk management associates to go get the industrial data, but I guarantee you, just knowing, I'm like, there's no way you got a profit margin of 25% take home pay. No way. But if you're like, oh, I want to start a brew pub, bro. And then you went out, all the internet saying, oh yeah, gold lying in the streets, just pounds of gold nuggets, just strewn on the road. Just pick up some. And now all of a sudden, there more are closing than opening. More craft breweries closed than open. The group's 2024 year in beer shows 335 new breweries opening, 399 closing. That's significantly more than those that open. I'm just getting for 335 of you. What? Come on. What is it? Really, you see those polls of young American kids, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be an influencer. I want to be a restaurateur. All this pie in the sky bullshit. What percentage of our GDP is all you guys chasing pie in the sky bullshit that's never going to make money? How many just like, I want to be an accountant. I want to be a project manager. I want to be a railroad worker. I wonder if we were to somehow measure it, what percent of the American population pursues their unattainable and short-sighted and lazy dreams compared to other countries? Yeah, I know a lot of other countries you can and get the license and all that other stuff. I'd like to see in other free countries just how dopey and delusional Americans are. And maybe I would get off my ass and go pay for the RMA report to find out, okay, what is the actual industrial profit of your average brew pub? But if there's more closing than those that are opening, then it indicates to me it's near zero. In Western Pennsylvania, Necromancer Brewing closed its Ross location in February after a 3-year run. 3 years, that's it? Cellarworks Brewing closed its doors in October after 7 years in Buffalo Township. And Oryx Brewing in Emsworth closed in December. According to the industry blog Brewers in Pennsylvania, about 20 craft breweries in Pennsylvania closed their doors in 2024. What happened, bro? What happened? I want to know how many of them were around like way back in the olden days. David Sobel, who owns Sobel Obscure Brewery in Jeanette with his daughter Jackie, said the craft beer market was getting saturated. Wait, what? According to the profit margins, you could just walk in and start making 25%. This is where journalism helps. I don't know if you journalists realize it, although the American people are starting to wake up now that they just can't believe anything you say. So the journalism industry is over. The journalism profession is over. You didn't do any real actual research. I'm wondering how many of you wrote pie in the sky bullshit, or just wrote, for example, the number of articles I saw where they said, what is gross margin? It was just a really basic accounting lesson on the income statement. And let's say you have a profit margin of 60%. And then someone actually followed those statistics, put it together. Hey, man, I can make $300,000 a year. In other words, the real data was not out there. There was no industrial data. Now, Cappy, did you search 10 pages into your search results? No, I did not. But neither is your aspiring entrepreneur, mustache beard bro who wants to go and start his own little microbrew. Brewers Association report counted more than 9,700 craft breweries operating in the United States in 2024. And Visit PA counts more than 500 in Pennsylvania. 9,700. I'm okay if you're the local neighborhood bar. You got your little village, and you're gonna go and you make a nice little tidy profit. That's fine. But this was a fad. That's why it's like Cavaricci pants, just a lot more expensive. I just have this inner hatred for fads. There are just so many opening up, Sobel said. There's not a big enough market to share to support it all. You have some home brewers who in some cases give up their job to go into brewing. And in the beginning, it goes well and everyone comes out to support it. But after a while, things slow down. I think that's where a lot of people run into problems. You mean we can't all be nonprofit workers and teachers and child psychologists? Is that why teachers don't make that much money? Who would have known? Flooding the market. Oh my God, it sounds fun, said the person who's about to be poor making a poor lifetime career decision. The most damaging lie they've told all you Americans is that work is supposed to be enjoyable and rewarding. That is the most important thing about you. In Sobel's case, the former department store where his brewery is located could see more than 175 people, which has allowed him to branch out into event hosting. Okay, so your beer don't make the money. Unless I hope he is making a lot of money on the beer, but you're diversifying. We have one of the largest seating capacities of local breweries, he said, so we can do a lot of larger events than other breweries aren't big enough to host. Operating costs rise, and announcing Necromancer's Brewing closure, owners cited rising operating costs, a concern echoed by Sobel and others. What's really kicking our butt is the energy bills, said Jeff Guido's, owner at All Saints Brewery in Hempfeld. Before starting All Saints, Guido's was head brewer at Red Star Brewing, which opened in Greensburg in 1998 and was part of the first wave of regional craft brewers. So I'm going to imagine those guys are doing pretty well. I mean, here, listen to me. Listen to me. Go start your business. Start in a growing industry. Do it well. Grow. And then when the big corporals offer you $500 million, you take it and you get the fuck out. Okay. If the trend's been going on for 20 years, please don't cash in your 401k and life savings. I saw too many of you dipshits do that in banking. I really want to start a bobble. Shut up. You don't even have coma money. Get out of here. Hold on, Aaron. You know, I know you're used to doing things by the book, but we here at Dick Suck Community Bank, we just like to lend all of our shareholders' money away while being guaranteed by the U.S. taxpayer. My energy usage is down, but my bills are still up about 30%. That's what I've noticed more than anything, he said. I wonder if we should have more diversity and inclusion majors or more electrical engineering majors. Should we have more linemen or more nonprofit workers? This isn't his fault. So one of the main reasons I got solar panels, I'm like, America is not producing enough competent people to keep the electric grid up. Bills are up at 30%. Guido said local craft brewers, for the most part, recognize the limited market and are content to share clientele. We all try to offer our customers the best, and they're really good at supporting a lot of us, he said. At Yellow Bridge Brewing in Delmont, owner Ian Stabb said he had to shift gears when it came to distribution. We've really backed off distributing to bars and restaurants, Stabb said. The margins on distribution are pretty tight to begin with. And then when the cost of grain or hops goes up, even a nickel or a dime, those margins get tighter and tighter. Chad Elkins, what are you going to do without your peanut butter, maple syrup, molasses, sugar cube beer? What's going on? Sobel said he works with a wholesaler for distribution. The margins are a lot smaller than retail, but it gives you more exposure in the marketplace. Sounds like the Sobel guy knows how to diversify. More if they like your beer, maybe they come to the tap room. Our wholesaler distributes our beer in 10 or 12 counties, and they go out and take orders in advance, so we're not wasting money brewing too much beer. As local tap rooms look to diversify their offerings to give patrons more than just a seat at the bar, are you guys going to have that cool thing where you get a fish wire with a hook, like a circle on it, and there's a hook on the wall, and you throw that? We're going to do that too? Are you going to have trivia night? Trivia night. Did you know trivia night? Have you tried a trivia night? Karaoke, bro. That's all our economy is going to end up becoming. It's just going to be a bunch of sports bars, micro tap room bars with a lot of wood, $30 burger joints, and all the women are going to work nonprofits and be teachers and fly planes upside down when they land. That's all our GDP is going to be. There's not going to be any steel. There's not going to be any tradesmen. There's not going to be any roofers. We're all going to complain about how we can't afford housing, but no one's going to go build the housing. We're all going to be micro craft. Oh, and then we're going to, don't forget, I forgot, another critical part of future U.S. GDP will be beard products and bearskin hoodies. I can't forget, we got to wax a little fucking Gavin McGinnis mustaches. Yellow Bridge hosts smaller musical acts and a weekly open stage. Yeah, music. That's I remember I was dating this girl. I didn't know. I was young. And one of her friends was they're in their 30s, right? And they were going to go down to the local coffee store and play at the local coffee store. And I, young enough, I was like, oh, well, musicians, that must be pretty serious. And okay, yeah, we'll go. And it was just this lame ass couple from the suburbs singing the lame ass songs. And I think it was at a Dunn Brothers, which is a fine coffee store. Don't get me wrong. It's not known for, and I didn't realize, oh yeah, this is not serious. I think music is going away too. I don't like going into a loud. My cigar lounge out here, I make sure to leave because now they got music every night. I could be wrong. People are showing up for the music. Maybe a lot of people are, but I don't want to. I don't want to hear. I want to smoke a cigar. I don't want to hear some loud 48-year-old woman singing a song because she didn't. That's her side gig. That's her retirement plan. They got their little auto tune box and they and they got their microphone. Buddy, I'm older than 48. If you're in your 40s and that's your plan, I can understand if you're doing it for fun. But if I'm going to go down to the microbrews, I'm going to go to the coffee stores of the cigar. I'm going to see if they could use some live music. If live music is your retirement plan, enjoy being poor. According to the Brewers Association, a bump in hospitality offerings was among 2024's top trends in the industry, along with growing demand for non-alcoholic beer. Athleta beer. Look at it. If you don't drink no more, or you just want to have a good beer without alcohol, I cannot recommend that enough. We've really emphasized in-house events, Stab said. We try to do fun things like bingo and trivia. It's like being a banker again. It's buddy, let's call it. Do some cash flow analysis. Don't waste your retirement fund, man. Please don't be like every other American entrepreneur where you just waste all of your retirement savings, set yourself back to $0 when you're 50 years old. Maybe debatably with a bankruptcy on your credit report. Just throw in the towel, man. Just throw in the towel. It's been my dream. Everyone's shooting the white girl blood. Everyone's shooting that into their veins. Bingo and trivia. Reason to get people in the door rather than trying to make money through keg sales. Regional tourism groups have also partnered with craft brewers for mutual benefit. For the past few years, Go Laurel Highlands has offered prizes for participation in annual pour tour with a checklist of local breweries for contestants to complete. It's always a gimmick. It's it there's look, it's like dating apps or those speed dating events. Stop it. Just stop it. It doesn't work. Throw in the towel. End it. Stop trying to make this boat float. It's not in the market. Every year, though, there are more and more breweries on the pour tour list, so people are running around trying to get all the breweries checked off, Sobel said. John Buranowski, co-owner and head brewer of Illusion Brewing in Vandergrift, said the beer industry in Western Pennsylvania is going strong. We're on our 5th year, and we're doing well enough in 2024 that we're able to respond to requests for a location closer to Pittsburgh, he said. Well, good. I hope you make very good beer. Illusion recently opened a second tap room on Duncan Avenue in Hampton's Allison Park neighborhood. In the Pittsburgh area, you have us expanding. Allegheny City Brewery opened a new tap room. Grist House in Millvale took over a new spot in Butler County, Baranowski said. Around here, I think we have a pretty healthy beer industry. Okay, prepare for change. In its closing announcement, Cellarworks Brewing said the business wasn't able to bounce back enough after the disease, another concern cited by several local brewers. How long ago was that? 5 years coming up on now? We still see our customers coming through the door, but overall sales are not quite as high as they used to be. Here's another. Did the disease have an effect? Probably. You know what it is? The fad is over. Inevitably, girls woke up in the 80s, said poofing our bangs is stupid. Inevitably, guys woke up and said, hey, we're not going to wear Cavarishi pants no more. The millennials are growing up. Some of them are having kids and they're getting jobs. They're not in their 20s no more. It's a 20-year run, right? People change in 20 years. What are the Zoomers going to do? They don't have the driver's license. There ain't no sex. Sorry, no matter how much you want to put it otherwise. Tap room, alcohol, beer, a bar. What would get people in the door is that you go out and be social, and also men would want to have sex. I'm not saying you got to go with a full ladies' night, although in some places I don't think you can anymore because it's illegal. Right, California? It's over. The beard grooming product and the bow tie and all, it's over. People moved on. Bell bottoms went out of fashion. So did disco. So did the hipster millennial culture. It's over. Bart Watson, vice president of the Brewers Association, agreed. Craft has been going through a painful period of rationalization as demand growth has slowed and retailers and distributors look to simplify their offerings or add options for flavor and a variety outside of the craft category, he said in the association's annual report. That said, breweries have reacted to these changes by focusing on distribution, continuing to innovate in their tap rooms and brew pubs, creating groups and partnerships, and offering a wider range of beverages in their portfolios. If you guys can make money and enough to live off of and be compensated adequately on per hour of your work, right? You're making $40 an hour, cool. I'm just going to assume, based on my experiences in banking, you're losing money. Please be honest and assess yourself honestly about the profitability of your firm. And if it's losing money, close it the fuck down. Cappy, are they going to listen? No, they're not. It's going to be just like banking all over again. No one listened. No one listened. Can I get a fourth home equity loan? We had some bad luck. No, you're in the wrong business. But don't worry, my boss will override my analysis and we'll give you some. How much of our dopey shareholder money would you like? Guaranteed by the taxpayer. Well, here you go, my fine entrepreneurial friend. Baranowski said the strategy has been part of Illusion's success. At both locations, we've started adding other Pennsylvania-made spirits and wines, he said. In Hampton, we're partnering with food trucks until the food trucks. I still think that's got some legs. I got the first time I ever ordered food was this past summer over in South Dakota from a food truck. Never again. $14 for a styrofoam plate of rice and a really shitty taco. Like, I'm never doing it again. Never. I'll say it again. All the restaurants in the United States should close because you're going to close anyway. Let's just get ahead of the curve, save our retirement funds, close now, and only a handful of established, actually competent restaurants should be. And then you got all these extra buildings that are open. You could convert them into housing. The housing crisis is solved. Oh my God. Thank you, Cappy the Economist. Thank you. And it all started with us saying no more restaurants. In Hampton, we're partnering food trucks until we can get our kitchen installed. We serve local wines, and we see a big boom in specialty cocktails. I see a lot of breweries doing that as well as doing non-alcoholic mocktails. You have to look ahead and be ready for any change that comes. All right. I wish you all the best. I just think it's over. The culture, it's all over. They've all aged. Like, do you think boomers go to bars anymore? Right? Yeah, in the 80s, they made a freaking one of the most popular television shows. Cheers. Right? That was in the 80s. Long time ago. Right? Now they don't. I don't know what boomers do. They don't go to the bars anymore, that's for sure. Got 2 super chat. Razor Power, $10. Cappy, why did you hate TRT? I was going to look into it when I got old enough, but now I'm curious what's bad about it. Nothing about it itself. It was having to administer it. You have to get a syringe. You got to put it into where you got some fat. And no matter what technique I used, I'd always get welts. It was a pain in the ass. The other thing is that the place I was going to get it, you get it over mail. Everything's like measured doses. You just inject. You get to pull and then they're like, well, we need you to mix it now. So beforehand, you get a vial, you get a syringe, and you take out the correct milliliters or whatever of it, and you inject yourself with that. Then they gave me 2 separate chemicals. Like, you got to mix this together. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. This is already a pain in the ass. You're not even mixing it for me. It's shitification. Fuck out of here with that shit. Finally, if I have the exact same results, if I just do another set at the gym, right? And I found out more as I've gone on my working out journey, which I'm joking. I don't do journeys. That's what weaklings do. My journey. As I have experimented with working out more, my main hurdle is diet. I can build up muscle just fine. It's just not eating any freaking carbs. So I look good naked if I do it right without the TRT. So for me, the TRT doesn't. And for whatever reason, my testosterone shot up 200 points this past year. I don't know if I'm getting more. There's a lot of other things you can do. Getting good sleep, giving up booze, although I gave up booze 4 years ago. So I don't know where that jump came in. Maybe I wasn't stressed. I have no idea. But there's a lot of other things you can do before you start forking over the $250, $300 a month. It was expensive. It's another reason. And I think Rich Cooper said it best. It's like the last option, right? Where you're diagnosed with low T, you're still going to the gym, you're doing everything right. You got your diet, and you're still got that haze and brain fog. Thor, that happened to Thor, but Thor was probably in his 50s by the time he started doing it. So for me, it was much easier to just do an extra set at the gym. Eat less pink box donuts, which is a donutier, if that's a word. It's a donutier. It's a donut shop out here. And they cheat by putting crack in their donuts. They're just so freaking good. Yeah, I'd postpone And here's the other thing is after 3 months, your body starts to adapt and does not make as much testosterone on its own. So I kind of did a 3-month thing, and I was like, no, it isn't worth it. So maybe when I'm older, I'll switch to it when I'm in my 60s. But right now, for me, and it's obviously it's very highly dependent on each individual. I would avoid it if you can until you absolutely need it. So no booze, no cigarettes, get lift weights, regular working out at the gym, good sleep, get some good sleep. And then to look really good, and they'll agree with me, Jack, Drew, all the guys who are way more professional. Well, Drew is a professional working out guy. It's your diet. Just do your diet, man, and then see if you don't like the results that way. And then TRT, yeah, I would almost have to be diagnosed with low T and have brain fog because it's painful. It's a pain in the ass. Joe Spinella, $10. I stopped doing weld work for craft brewers because they think my welding equipment runs on beer, especially if I have to run pipe for them. Wait, I stopped doing weld work for craft brewers because they think my welding equipment runs on. Oh, they'd pay you in beer because they didn't have the money. But wait, Joe, they were telling me that they have like profit margins of 25%. Especially if I have to run pipe for them. Yeah, I'll pay you in beer. I'll pay you in exposure. I'll pay you in equity. No, you will pay me in fucking US dollars. Hazmat Trucker. He is our supplier of white girl blood. $2 cap. So short, his side gig is testing booster seats. I hope you and Dre are having fun. Hope you guys are having fun. All right, that's it. See you guys later, Toodles.